that leads into Happy Gilmore 4.
There you go.
Piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What up, film fans? Happy Friday. Welcome to another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Juan, and I'm joined by the cast, the crew. 2 out of 4.
The
We may not
Fantastic
be
Four.
fantastic,
Hey,
but
we get it done no matter what, whether it's Fantastic Four or 2.
Zach, how have you been? It's been forever since I've seen you.
It has been a little while. Luckily, everything that happened went really smooth, so hopefully we'll be back on track here starting today. Granted, we've had some technical difficulties, we've had some schedule changes, but
Oh man, have we had a schedule change? It has been a crazy 7 days since the last time, over 7 days since the last time we came to you guys. But you know what, Zach? Still technically a new episode, a new week. We're here, episode 359. We're talking the Fantastic Four, First Steps today. I am mobile right now. I am on my phone. A move happened. Internet's
is
not
this the
hooked up.
first time? Is
18.
this the first time you've done the show on your phone before?
This is the first time I've ever done the
Wow.
show on my phone. So if I sound a little different, if I look a little different, I'm sorry. The computer's right in front of me, but new movie room, Zach.
Oh, look at that. That
You
is
know, so things are good here, but we will be back regular scheduled programming Tuesday 9 p.m. This Tuesday, August the 4th, when we talk all about Happy Gilmore. August the 5th.
yeah.
Um, but you know what? Last week, if you guys did not join us, me and Jay had a fantastic conversation all about I Know What You Did Last Summer. So go back, check that out, listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher. You can watch us live here on Imisawa Productions YouTube channel. You can also watch us live on Facebook Live. So go check us out. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Not the best, but it could have been a lot worse. Jay absolutely hated it. So go back into the archives and listen to that episode. Um, but yeah, I don't have anything on recent watches, so I think we'll talk about that maybe next week or in 2 weeks. Zach, you're going to join me again in 2 weeks when we talk about weapons.
Yep.
But let's get ready to dig into the actual meat and potatoes of today's episode. We are talking Fantastic Four, the first steps. Zach, how to do at the box office?
So far, I mean, it's tracking. It's pretty much made its budget back already at a budget of $200+ million. As of right now, of this recording, it's grossed a little over $257.5 million worldwide. So got its budget back and plus a little bit more. So, it's doing well. We have an all-star cast starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss Backrack, or Cousin Richie from The Bear, Joseph Quinn, Julia Gardner, Ralph Ineson, and Paul Walter Heiser. And this film is directed by Matt Shakman. The Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and the Thing face their most daunting challenge yet as they defend Earth from Galactus and the Silver Surfer. Had a release date of July 25th, 2025. We're a little late with this review, but hey, we got to we got to supply the fans, and that's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
technically, this is our fifth episode of July, first episode of August. Technically,
Yeah,
we
combination.
were scheduled to go live last Tuesday, and then, like I said, AT&T is trash. We're supposed to do it last night, but you know what?
Oh,
This is
we
fine.
just lost our greatest sponsor. Sorry, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the episode yet, or if you haven't seen the movie yet, pause it. We're at 6 minutes into the episode. Go check it out. Come back, hang out, listen to us, and talk about Fantastic Four. Um, Zach, I'll be honest with you. First few words, um, I didn't. I've only seen it the one time, but honestly, if I had to pick a word as soon as the movie was over, um, I'd probably say fantastic.
A little on the nose, but hey, it works. Yeah, we'll give like a quick non-spoiler review, and then we'll let everyone know when we're doing spoilers. Um, I thought this movie was refreshing. Honestly, I thought it was something that Marvel. We've talked at nauseum about how Marvel's kind of suffered since Endgame, and they've had hits with No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, and now I think this is considered a hit. But there's definitely been a steady decline since Endgame. So I think we need to do a little something different. I think this is way different. I think this is something that I think a lot of people are kind of worried that, oh, I haven't seen Agatha all along. Am I going to understand this? And this is really an independent story. There's no homework to this film at all, and I think that's one of the things that people A, really appreciated, and B, something that I thought was like, let's get back to like early phases where you don't have to watch a lot of the different films to understand this.
Yeah, and also like how they switch it to where you don't have to have have a lot of like the first 40 minutes isn't a backstory.
Yeah.
You're in it, you're in and you're out in like 10 minutes compared to a backstory, kind of like Superman did. We talked about a few weeks ago. If you guys want to go back and listen to our Superman episode, but like the Fantastic Four really sets you up for success, and I think that's what a good superhero movie is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is technically the fifth Fantastic Four movie. You don't
Yeah.
need backstory. They did a perfect explaining of it. Um, I didn't really have any negative issues about this movie, and I had to go back and I didn't go back and watch it, but I had to nitpick it.
Yeah.
One of my biggest nitpicks, honestly, was still CGI.
I thought it
Um,
was I thought the
was
CG
still CGI,
I mean, I thought the CGI was kind of spotty in some places, but it
especially
wasn't
the
like,
baby.
yeah. There was a joke I heard, like, why didn't they just get the baby from American Sniper, just the doll Bradley Cooper was holding would look better.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I thought that I thought the design of Galactus and even Silver Surfer, I thought they looked really good, honestly.
Yeah, so Silver Surfer, she was probably one of my favorite characters. I like just the ore and the uh the feel of like how she looked and sounded, and it's almost like one of those old school like one of those old school Dark Knight movies, like when the villain was on the screen. We can even go back to Marvel and talk about Thanos. When
Yeah,
Thanos is on screen,
it
but
grabs your
in this
attention.
it grabs your attention. The
Yeah,
score, Galactus, or Galactic, I don't know. Um,
Galactus.
and then the Silver Surfer, like when the villain is on the screen and they have that certain score behind them, it just makes everything feel for a deeper, darker tone.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I think the art direction, the whole '60s vibe, I thought was excellent, portrayed excellently. The production design, the visual. I mean, like we said, the visual effects are a little spotty, but nothing to really complain about. But one of the things I really enjoyed about it was like it is set in it obviously it's not a spoiler. This is set in a different time zone or time zone in a different alternate reality. Um, but it's almost like the technology that's in that is almost like what we thought of that technology would be in the 60s, like the flying cars and the personal robots and stuff like that. And I thought that a lot of I mean, there was a lot of like little Easter eggs that if you just paid attention, I think if on rewatch you went back and just looked at the city, you would have catched a lot.
Yeah. This is kind of off topic. I don't know, but did you have the feeling that Vanessa Kirby just continued to look like Kate Blanchett?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about cast, I thought I thought the four leads had great chemistry. I think they casted those roles perfectly, but I think the best performance of the movie was Vanessa Kirby. I thought she owned that. Like she was able to show that she is a strong female superhero, not without it being like real preachy, but also
Oh yes.
able to show a mother that's willing to do anything for her child.
Yeah, she did fantastic as far as like uh she owned the movie. You know, a lot of people said that they had that um Pedro Pascal was like a big shot, like he owned the movie, but I think it was the opposite. I agree with you. I think Vanessa Kirby like owned the spotlight for this movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think the actress who played Silver Surfer, Juliet Gardner, which we'll be talking about in about 2 weeks when we talk about weapons. That's her next film coming out. Um, she got a lot of hate online. I guess maybe they're just trying to make the Silver Surfer a woman instead of a man, but I thought she had a very for her to be decked out in her visual effects outfit or whatever it is, I thought she portrayed a lot of emotion and I thought she pulled that character off really well.
She did do a very good job.
So we are 12 minutes into the movie. Like Johnny said, we're going to go ahead and start dissecting it a little bit more. If you haven't seen Fantastic Four, go check it out and come back and join us. Um, so you said that I think one of my biggest, I don't know if you would call it a nitpick or just like a major, just maybe it's just a writing error. I think this movie, for it to be Fantastic Four, I think really the couple of uh, Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby are like the two main storylines or the main storyline with the pregnancy. And then just you have Joseph Quinn trying to dissect Silver Surfer's language. And then the thing is kind of like bypassed. I mean, there is like, they kind of hint at a potential relationship in the future, but it's never really brought up again, honestly. And he's just reading books about how to become a really good uncle.
Yeah, another thing I liked in this movie that kind of focused on like Johnny Torch, Johnny Flame, whatever, Johnny Nitro, whatever his name is. I like that they didn't make him look so
Douchey.
terrible. Yeah, so douchey, so terrible like they did with Chris Evans. Now he don't get me wrong, there was like some stint of hey, you know he could be like that, or they question his relationships in the past and stuff in this movie, but I'm glad that they didn't focus too much on him being you know a weak link.
Or a womanizer, yeah. I feel like I feel like that character is kind of built up of like 80% of the comic, what
Hmm.
that character is, but also they still really like Chris Evans' performance, and so they've kind of sprinkled that in, even though he's not the exact same Johnny Storm from the original films.
Um, you know what? I also like the thing in this movie.
Yeah,
I think he did fantastic. I like the concept of them using his face for the CGI like they did with the Hulk and um oh what's his name? Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo.
Hmm.
I like how they like kind of did that same thing. They didn't use like a generic thing face,
Yeah.
or they didn't put too much CGI to where you. I don't know how to explain it, but
It
Moss
wasn't
did a
it
really
wasn't
good
like
job.
costume. It wasn't like Michael Chiklis in the originals, but it wasn't like full blown CGI. There was like a combination of both. It looked
Yeah.
like, and like how
Um.
towards later in the film, he actually grows like the Rock beard, which I thought was kind of a cool detail.
Yeah. The Rock beard was fun. Um. I don't have any complaints about the cast or certain superheroes not getting enough time. For this movie being an hour and 55 minutes, I think it did just its job. I think it went in there, it gave you some flicks of a popcorn movie, but it gave you a good story of where the MCU is maybe um, headed.
Yeah.
But I did think it, how can I put this? I think a lot of people were wanting maybe a little bit more with the mid credit scene, and we'll get there. But
Yeah.
like, man, Galactic was everything we thought he would be on the big screen. If you guys didn't check this out on the big screen, highly recommend it. I didn't,
Did you see it in
I didn't,
IMAX?
I didn't see it in the IMAX, but I did see it in the Grand, which is the next biggest screen at the Warren.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought it was just fantastic. Like you said, I fell in love with the '60s vibes. I think it
Hmm.
would have been pushing it if there was more '60s music in the movie. I think that would have been like, okay, we see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think that I would have loved it if there was like some more '60s music in it. I
Hmm.
like how it was just, even though it wasn't a dark picture, it felt like a dark film to me.
Yeah.
Just especially when they explained that Galactic wanted the baby to spare everybody's lives,
Yeah. And it kind
and
of,
then
when they come back, I really like the performance that Pedro Pascal gives
mm-mm,
when the news media outlets are like, "Are we safe?" And he turns around, and he says, he simply says, "I don't know." You know, we he gave us a choice, and we said no, and it kind of goes back into the character dilemma of, do you sacrifice one to save millions, that type
yeah.
story, especially as a new parents.
I know we're just like 7 months, 8 months into the year, but I think Pedro Pascal, he might be my favorite actor of the year. And
Oh,
I think he's done all three of his movies already.
yeah, because he had Eddington and Fantastic Four back to back weeks, so that's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. And he has
And then
another
he
one coming
had
out later.
that other movie, that other A24 movie a few months ago.
Yep. So he's and plus he had the season 2 of The Last of Us this year, so it's he's how much time does that man have? I really got it. That's a good question. And then think about this, and even next year he has Mandalorian and Grogu and Avengers Doomsday. So like two of the biggest movies that are coming out next year, he's in them as well.
Yeah.
So I think you get Ralph Ineson, who's been in a ton of A24 movies. He was in Nosferatu last year. He's been in The Witch. He's been in um, the Green Knight. His voice is so iconic. I thought his voice was perfect for Galactus. Kind of like this, like very much like old school machine god like complex that I thought was awesome. I think my only nitpick is that his scale, like he looks massive in space, and then they kind of like, I feel like they reduce him down to like Godzilla size when he comes to Earth. Did you notice that?
Oh, I mean, he was still pretty when he came to Earth. He was still pretty massive. Um, to where even just the lightest of a step, he destroyed streets.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. I feel like this has been like a problem with movies, especially if there's going to be worldwide mass destruction. Ever since Man of Steel, there's always got to be everyone's out of the city type thing.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I get that kind of, but
which
I
is fine
think
because they explained it with Mole Man. But it's just I just find that hilarious. That's got to be a thing now in these type of
what
movies.
did you think of old Mole Man?
I really I think Paul Walter Hauser's a very um, talented new actor, I guess you would say, and I just feel like we just didn't get enough of him. Honestly, we get like the little intro at the beginning, and then he comes back to like say, "Yeah, come down to his part of the world when Galactus is coming," and that's about it. We don't really get like a backstory or nothing.
So let me ask you this question: do you think this movie was perfect as far as runtime, or do you wish this is one of those movies that could have went and like 2.5 hours?
I think you could have pushed this to like 2 hours and 5 minutes. But I totally agree with you. It's like, I did see Superman a week or two ago, and that's one of the greatest things about that movie is that we're not doing the origin again. We don't need it. We understand it. If you've seen like any of the five Fantastic Fours or read the comic books, you know how they get their powers. I think you could have spent the extra 5 or 10 minutes with the Thing or Mole Man or Silver Surfer or whatever. Um, I don't think it need to be 2.5 hours. I don't think that, no.
Can
Or
I
the or
let you know this? And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but this kind of felt like a live action Incredibles movie.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I didn't put that
Like
too
I
much
said, not a
together yet.
bad thing,
No.
but as far as like placing of characters and story and the finishing touch, it felt like The Incredibles.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Well, there you go. We have our Incredibles live action remake. We don't have to do it now. Um, Let me see some
I'm
notes.
not familiar with the Fantastic Four and their baby and the powers, but it looks like in Doomsday, it's going to be about Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom and the baby, and
Yeah.
maybe sprinkling some other Avenger like moments in there. But man, we're over a year away from that movie. I think our next MCU movie is Spider Man next July.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. We're after we get done with this review, we have no more Marvel till the end. Literally, this time next year, we'll be talking about Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and then we don't even get Doomsday until Christmas of next year. So we got to wait like another year and a half before we get to that. So, but I appreciate what they're doing. They're not force feeding every project down our throat now. They're kind of going back to basics of let's give each movie its time where people can understand it. They have time to see it. They can digest it and kind of get acquainted for what's coming next. Um, I think, in the post end game COVID world, I think Marvel were, and Kevin Feige has said this, they've worried more about quantity than quality.
Yeah.
So,
I think also another thing that they touched on and they did such a good job with this movie on is placement of we're not going to make things too complicated. I did kind of giggle at the whole let's move the planet to a different universe.
well,
I'm sure that came straight from a comic,
yeah.
but I kind of giggled at that.
Well, I will say this movie kept me on my heels of what's going to happen because I really thought the way this movie was going to end is that Galactus destroys the planet and it ties into the Thunderbolts mid-credit scenes where the ship is coming into our universe. It's the Fantastic Four and the baby, and they literally had to escape their universe to survive. I thought that's how the movie was going to end. So the fact that they they actually save their world, they technically just push Galactus and Silver Surfer sacrifice herself, but they're not dead. They're literally on the other side of the universe. So I think we'll see Silver Surfer again eventually.
So what was that mid credit scene then from Captain America.
So that mid credit scene was, I think, um, if I remember correctly, Broccoli Man. I don't remember what the character's name is. Essentially told Sam that a bigger threat is coming. So I think he has like the intergalactical knowledge that Doomsday is coming. I think that's what that was about. So, but let's go ahead and talk about it. The I don't know about your guys' theater. My theater freaked out when that mid credit scene happened, and to me, I'm I want to get your opinion on this. I'm split because part of me is like, I'm glad we didn't see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, but at the same time, it's like we know he's Doomsday, so just let us have like a little snippet of it. Well, what do you think about it?
I thought the tease was good. I wasn't a fan of the child reaching up and touching his face.
That's I did some I listened to a couple podcasts about the movie, and that's significant in the fact that since technically Sue dies in this protecting her child, and the baby has the ability to bring people back and heal people. So like when he's touching Doomsday's face, or Doctor Doom's face, in the context I understand it is that he has healing abilities, and so I think he has the ability to heal Doctor Doom, but we don't really know what the context is in that scenario, that mid credit scene, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I think they did all this teasing of Robert Downey Jr. They did all this, the Comic Con thing from last year. I
Mhm.
think we deserved to at least have him show 3 seconds of his face.
Yeah.
Whether it doesn't matter what it is, but it just something. Even if it was a CGI of a hurt face. I know Doctor Doom has the mask and Man in the Iron Mask kind of thing underneath there, but I think we deserved at least some kind of snippet.
Well, I mean, I really thought that the baby's holding the face, and he would turn around and just say, "Shall we begin?" or something like that. That's we get like a brief glimpse of him.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm glad. Truthfully, man, I'm really glad that they didn't focus on that. That they just wanted to tell its own story, and it's
Oh yeah.
like the title said, like the title references, first steps. We know as an audience Doctor Doom is coming, whether it be in Avengers or in a sequel, but let's just do its own. Let's pick a different villain for these characters
Yeah.
to go up against. So
Yeah. I agree. I think it was a fun little touch. Um, and whether Doomsday starts out with him just demolishing people like Thanos did, it's probably going to go that route. But I don't think it also needs to. But like I said, that's a year and a half away. Um, Favorite scene?
man, I there are several. I mean, I truly enjoyed the uh there we go. I really enjoyed the whole really them going to Galactus's lair, and in a sequence of them like escaping Silver Surfer, and they do kind of like the interstellar wormhole thing. I thought that was excellently well done. I think that's the best action sequence in the movie. I think the best character moment of the movie is really, it's very powerful. As I'm not a parent, so I wanted to see what you thought about it. Was, well, after they come back and Reed Richards is kind of saying, most fathers want their sons to be them. I don't want you to be like me, because I just because of my characteristics, I feel like that's just a bad. I'm going to pass that on to you, and it's not good. I thought that was expertly well done. I thought it was thematically important for the characters at that time. Um, and it's a great performance by Pedro, honestly. And then Sue's speech of saying, "I'm not going to give up my baby, but I'm not going to sacrifice you guys." So it's goes back to Vanessa Kirby again. What about you?
Uh, that's a good scene. I would have to say I like when she goes out and explains to the people why they're not going to turn the child over. Um, I also like the scene where Johnny Storm explains the character, the language of the Silver Surfer.
Mhm.
Um, And then you know what? Galactus was everything I thought he was going to be, and it was pretty cool seeing him on the planet. So
Did you get the $40 Galactus popcorn bucket?
I did not.
I saw. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. We're going to the movies this weekend, and I saw that they actually have like the Fantastic Four car popcorn bucket, which I thought was interesting. So,
What about star rating?
man, I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
give. I'll go first. I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
awesome. I'm gonna go just slightly lower. I'm gonna give it a 4. I think this is. I think we can agree that this is one of the better Marvel movies that we've gotten. I still like Thunderbolts and Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think out of the last year and a half, I think this is one of the better ones that they've done.
Yeah.
So, so are you kind of sad that we're getting no more Marvel till next year, or are you kind of like, yeah,
I'm fine. I think this is exactly what we need. I think a year off is perfect, and I think they could have delayed Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man as well. So I'm fine. Like I said, I'm tired of the over pushing of superhero and Marvel movies. So this year break is good for me.
yeah? And plus, I think we got like Daredevil came out this year, Ironheart came out a couple weeks ago.
I'm not even honestly. I'm not even focused on any of the Marvel shows.
The only
Yeah.
one I'm still vaguely interested in is Daredevil because I like the Netflix show a lot, and I thought what they did with that character was awesome. So we'll see. But something we're never tired about talking about, and I think is always a staple of this show is Mr. Adam Sandler.
Next
Next week,
week, that's it. August the 5th. Happy Gilmore 2. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna rewatch the first one. And in preparation for this, I've heard a lot of bad things, but you know what? It's nostalgia. It's Adam Sandler. It's Happy Gilmore 2. So I'm all in. I'll be there Tuesday, August the 5th, 9 p.m. right here on Facebook Live and Imaswap Productions. So count me in.
believe it or not, I have watched Happy Gilmore too. I thought you would have seen that like 8 times by now, to be honest.
If I had Netflix or if my internet was on, thanks to AT&T, I probably would have.
I'm curious about. I won't be joining you guys on that episode, but I'm interested to see what you think about it. Just I know you have the original high and dear to your heart, so I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what you think about the new one. August the 12th, we will be talking about Julia Gardner's new movie, Weapons, from the director of Barbarian and Companion from earlier this year. I've heard nothing but high praise for this movie, so we will see. And then for the rest of the month, August the 19th, we're talking about the 50th anniversary of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a classic. And then we end the month of August because guess what? It's football season, so we got to bring some Matthew McConaughey back in the schedule. We're going to talk about We Are Marshall. So it's going to be a packed month. And then I think September 2nd, we're doing our Jaws rewind episode, right?
Yep. Rewind.
For the
So
50th anniversary.
summer's getting ready to come to a close. We're gonna finish our Matthew McConaissance, and all good things coming soon from yours truly. More new episodes of the Cinema Movie Podcast. Can't wait to talk movies with you guys next Tuesday. Happy Gilmore 2. Go check it out on Netflix. Let us know what you think, and join us next week for an all new episode of the Cinnamon Movie Podcast. Peace.
Awesome.
Hook 'em.